AstroDetectives, the show where we try to match our guests to their correct astrological birth chart. As always, we have two charts to choose from, and today our guest is either a Cancer or a Capricorn. I'm Scott, a skeptic of astrology, and I'm joined by my co-host and professional astrologer, Sarah Hartshorn. Sarah, what can you tell us about the difference between a Cancer and a Capricorn?
Well, Scott, yeah, these are two signs that are opposite to each other on the wheel, so they have a special kind of yin and yang quality to them. Um, Cancer deals with the emotional realm. It's very much about sensing and feeling and intuition and their inner emotional world with a real focus on like kind of domestic life and the home and family. And Capricorn is an earth sign. And so the earth signs are very practical and pragmatic and focused on the material world and, doing what needs to be done. Capricorn is very much about duty and responsibility, and it has a strong association with like work and achievement. So, kind of, it's almost like a very stereotypical mother-father energy, the home
Oh,
life
right.
and the domestic life and the work life kind of. Um,
At least in the patriarchy, it is.
yeah,
Daddy's going to
exactly.
going to work and making money, and mom is being caring and raising the kids.
Yeah. And again, that's just the archetype we're talking about. Doesn't mean that all Cancers are this way or all Capricorns are this way.
Or
Um,
that daddy goes to work and mom takes care of the kids. It could be the
yeah.
other way around.
Or it could be two dads or
Or
two
two mommies,
moms.
yeah, or none. There could be none involved.
Okay.
Maybe you're in an orphanage. We're going down a dark road.
God. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got two kind of clear-cut character types for the two sun signs, but as most astrology listeners will tell you, it's not about the sun signs. It goes deeper than that, Sarah. If somebody wants to go deeper into these two charts, where can they find them?
They can find them on our website, Scott, which is astrodetectivespod.com. And we have our chart files, our case files available for you in whole sign or Placidus. And if you want to get the full birth data so you can actually plug it into your own system, please sign up for our Patreon and we will send you those charts in your inbox.
Yeah. You got a survey too. Each of our guests fills out a survey, which we've been perusing over. Looking at these two birth charts in their entirety, anything jumping off the page that you're going to keep an eye on for biggest differences?
Yeah. Let's see. The Cancer, they have a lot of emphasis. So first of all, they're a Gemini rising, um, and their chart ruler Mercury and their Sun and the planet Venus. So that's we call that a stellium. Three or more planets is a stellium. They have a stellium in the second house, and that has to do with a real focus on finances. And because it's Cancer, there could be like a real focus on like security and safety. And so this person could, if they're a Cancer, they could have a lot of emphasis on having enough resources and finance. And that could be, I know everybody, can relate to that, but there could be themes in their life that make that like a bigger topic for them. Um, and they have an Aquarius moon, which is pretty interesting. So they're a Gemini rising Aquarius moon. So this Cancer has a lot of air placements, and air is very about communication and relating, and it's very social. So that does add kind of a different flavor to this Cancer. Then in our Capricorn chart, there are Taurus rising, so they have a lot of Earth. So that gives them like extra Earth placements, and Earth is very much focused on, uh, like this Capricorn energy is very much focused on achievement. Its Sun is in the ninth house, which has to do with higher education. So sometimes people, have extended education in a certain field. This is the house of travel, teaching. It's the house of astrology also, and beliefs and things like that. So if some of those topics come up, they also have a Sagittarius moon in the eighth house, which is pretty interesting. That, is a very, like, the eighth house is very much about going deep, and Sagittarius loves like learning and things like this. So a lot of learning emphasis in that chart. So,
Speaking of going deep, if anybody else is looking at these charts and coming to their own deep conclusions, make a little comment on what you're looking for and maybe anything you'd like us to address and go deeper on in the future. We can always use some of that feedback, and we can focus on some areas that maybe some of our listeners are looking at too.
and
Yeah,
I just want to mention I started, like, at the end of the show when we pick the sign, we tend to, we were like writing down our answer on a post-it note and trying to show it. And then I have kind of upped my game. So I have made, just to let people know, flashcards for myself, and I sell them on my Etsy shop, Hartshorn Astrology, if you're interested. But they have, okay, I'm trying to hold it back here so you can
there
see
we
it.
go.
Yeah, so we have Cancer and Capricorn. So at the end of the show, I will pick which one and I will hold it up, whether it's Capricorn or Cancer. But these are great little flashcards because, like, on the back, it gives you all the information about the sign and what planet rules it, the keywords, what parts of the body it rules, and things like that. So, if you want to get flashcards made by yours truly, they're available in my Etsy shop.
I think I might need some of those to show at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some.
Oh, perfect. I was
Yeah.
going to ask. And then I can also use them to brush up on my knowledge of astrology, as I have been
Yeah.
for several years now. Everybody's getting a
Yeah.
little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, I encourage everybody to look at the charts, kind of get an idea of these two personalities and what maybe you're looking for. If you believe that the charts dictate personality, then you're looking at one of them is going to match our guest coming up. So grab those and be ready when we return with our guest right after this. Hey, listeners, we're not just a podcast that tests astrology, we're an independent detective agency. That means we rely on you to help us keep the show running.
Exactly. By joining Astro Detectives on Patreon, you can support our mission to finally prove astrology is real.
Or, completely debunk it.
Here we go again.
One thing we can agree on, Astro Detectives is the only place you'll find astrologers and skeptics working together, like a buddy cop movie you didn't know you needed.
And trust me, detective work takes time, gathering evidence, late night stakeouts, solving cases, especially when Mercury's retrograde.
Okay, you can't blame Mercury.
The first step is easy and free. Just follow Astro Detectives on Patreon to get access to our debrief episodes where the conversation continues after each case ends. We break down what went right and what went wrong.
And if you want to fast track your training, become a rookie detective for only $3 a month. You'll unlock exclusive bonus episodes, plus early releases and the top secret case files sent straight to your inbox.
Or for just $1 a month, we'll make you an Astro intern. No compensation per se, but hey, you'll gain valuable detective experience and that warm fuzzy feeling knowing you're helping us keep the lights on.
So if you like what we're doing and want to support us, head over to patreon.com/astrodetectives and join the investigation today. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined now with our guest, Rachel. Welcome to Astro Detectives.
Thank you. Hi.
We're happy to have you. We always start by asking, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Tewksbury, New Jersey.
What is
Tiny town.
What is Tewksbury, New Jersey known for? Or how do you relate to Tewksbury?
I'm not from here. I would say it's known for cows and farms. It's the part of New Jersey people don't know exists. Like, it's gorgeous, rolling hills, foresty, like it's very beautiful. Yeah.
And you're not into farming, though.
No, I could be. I like animals. I like to say hi to the cows when I go for my bike rides.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you do for career, or what have you sort of been drawn to over your job history?
definitely drawn to the arts. I've been an actor for a long time in theater. Um, and then I do basically whatever I need to do to pay bills and make money. So I've done a lot of different jobs, serving, bartending, massage therapy, Segway tour guide, dog walker, carpentry. And then I went into tech for a little bit and was a sales rep and a technical recruiter. I've done a lot of things, but art and acting is my main thing.
Okay, that's where your passion is.
Yes.
Is there anything that kind of that's a lot of different little jobs, and I can totally relate. My job history is like all over the map, but I'm usually just kind of following interests. Is there any anything that they all kind of have in common, or what do you think drew you to those specifically, to as far as the earning money jobs?
Yeah. Well, I do love novelty. So if there's ever an opportunity, like through a friend of a friend who's like, hey, my buddy is a landscaper and he needs help, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Never done that. So there's that aspect, but also over the years being able to sort of retrospectively look at them, I think what all those things have in common is like the personal aspect. So every job I've ever done is heavily involved in interacting with people. Maybe the output is different. Maybe the output is a cabinet, or maybe the output is I'm walking your dog or whatever, but there's definitely like a human interpersonal aspect. And then like I just like being active and like working on my feet, moving around a lot, learning new skills, being handy. Um, so there's some connection, but also a bit of randomness. I like random.
It sounds like you wouldn't be like following any jobs that were more isolated. Like these are all involving being around working with other people.
Totally. Yeah. I think my toughest job experience is when I was a sales rep at a tech startup, not only because people hate salespeople and will say like horrible things to you on the phone. My coworkers were great, but during the workday, we got to interact very little because we were, we had goals. Like we had to make a minimum of like 110 calls a day, and then the day was over. So that was like in itself kind of isolating, I guess. But yeah, definitely drawn to things where I'm interacting with a lot of different people, or being able to have a really specific experience.
And interacting with people who want to talk to you, not necessarily people answering their phone. Why are you calling
Yeah,
me?
yeah. I did surprise myself and make some people who started out angry by the end of the call, even if they weren't buying, they were in a better mood. And I was like, I'll take that.
Oh, that's great. Can you share any advice or anything that you learned that made that role made you a little bit better at that role? You know, is it treating people like actual people and not a number, or is it a certain script or a certain line that really resonated that helps you get, helped somebody kind of be open to your conversation?
Treating people like people for a start, absolutely. And then one thing that a coach of mine loved and that I came to love was be yourself to the highest degree and like say something random. Can I cuss on here? Is that
You
bad?
can.
Oh, okay. Say something random as shit. Like, of course, I can't think of any examples right now, but when, you know how a sales call starts, obviously. And so when people realize they're in it, you say something to break them out of that expectation they have. Like, you know, don't you hate it when you drop your rubber ducky and you're in the bath? And they're like, what? What are you talking? Why are we talking about the bath? And you're like, oh no, I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry. Like say something so off the wall that it snaps them out of their immediate response to be like, I'm not interested. I'm gonna hang up. It snaps them out of that and being like, what did you just say to me on the phone? Random person I don't know. So that was really fun for me because I feel like that's a lot like acting in a way. The chance to completely surprise someone and give them something they don't expect. It just, no matter what stressful situation you're in, it just like pulls you back into your skin and you're like, what's going on? I hope that answers your question.
Definitely. And it ties it into the acting, which I wanted to get into. So on the other side of, career, can you talk a little bit about your passion for the creative arts and what you're drawn to doing the most? And maybe you were kind of talking through it. What do you enjoy about it? Is it getting the audience to react to whatever you're doing? Or is it like you've got something to share that you want to put out there? Or just kind of talk through maybe what some of your motivations are there.
Sure. I knew I wanted to do theater when I was very, very young, and I saw my first musical, and it was a Broadway tour show, and I was like, you can do that for a job? Wow. So it was like I was a single digit age when I knew I wanted to do that. Some things that draw me to it early on, yes, definitely the chance to be in a space that's safe and you can be expressive and not be judged and everybody's welcome. Like all the assumptions of the misfits going to the drama room are true. Everyone's welcome, but then it evolved into this curiosity about, through storytelling, the way you learn about humanity. People with different moral systems and like just the interesting parts when you can dig into a story, and there's detective work there that I think is really fun. And it just, for me, I think it makes me a better person because it takes a lot to stand in front of people and let my own isms go. Let my, if I feel fidgety, like let that go, because that doesn't serve the story. So being able to come to a place and reach neutrality and then tell a story, I think is really powerful. And then sometimes there's this moment where things are like floating and your scene work or whoever you're on stage with, like everything's very organic and flowing, and it creates this high. Like it's an incredible feeling when you realize it's happening. And then you realize it's happening and it probably disappears, but there is like a magical feeling in it for sure.
Definitely. And we appreciate you filling out your survey. This has been a long time since you filled out the survey joining the show. Yeah. So it is interesting sometimes to compare the two. You mentioned when you were a child, you weren't necessarily drawn to acting though. Do you remember which career you might have said you wanted to be when you were a kid?
Before I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm.
How does that career strike you now? Or can you think about maybe what it was that made you want to do that?
I think law now would be harrowing and exciting. And I miss being in school all the time. I think school is fun. So that part would be fun. But what was the second part of your question?
I guess maybe at that age, what do you think drew you to want to be a lawyer? I'm thinking of I'm tying it to acting. I'm thinking of you performing in the courtroom. As kids, we think that lawyers get to perform and make a big speech, and then we grow up and realize it's a lot of reading and a lot of writing.
Yes. And they only let the really, really good ones talk sometimes. Yeah, I think that was definitely an aspect of it. And I don't know, I was pretty outspoken, and like someone did call me pushy when I was a kid, which I think is really funny. So I think there was also that bit in me that was like, that didn't yet know. It was like, hey, justice, fairness, and that maybe that was there. There was like a little bit of fire there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you wanted to make things right, like there was a right and wrong, and you wanted to make things right, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And do it in front of an audience, even better.
Any other aspects of your childhood that come to mind as being important? Maybe like what kind of a kid you were, or maybe relationship with parental figures, and maybe what jobs your parents did. Like, what was the kind of that world like for you?
I was raised by my mom and my granny. We lived in a house with the two of them and my older sister. And my mom worked all the time. She took care of all of us. We saw her a lot, but like she was a very hardworking woman. Um, and like musical theater was really uh praised and like supported in our house. My mom was a ballerina dancer as a young person. My granny was a huge musical theater buff, and so it was part of our education, my sister and I, when we were little. Um, Gershwin and Cole Porter and Sondheim, and like it was just a part of our world already. And then I actually got to see people do it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna like take this further.
And are you still when you see musicals now, are you I don't know, I guess it's part of what you do now. Do you go out to see a lot of shows that like professional shows that other people are doing?
Yeah, whenever I can.
I guess you are close to New York-ish.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like an hour in the car or 2 hours in the train.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as an actor, are there certain strengths that you think you do a little bit better and certain struggles that you think are a little harder for you than other people? So if you were going to kind of compare your skill set or what you're naturally like feel good at, are there any areas that maybe you, yeah, come easier that you excel at, and some areas that you really have to work at that maybe come easier to other people?
Probably. I mean, of course. Yeah. Um, I consider myself very grounded when I'm working and I've had feedback that says so. I love feedback. Like I'm not afraid of it. Which I think some people struggle with criticism, but I just I take it as fuel. And if I don't understand it, I ask questions. Um, and a strength in acting, which is sometimes a hindrance in my personal life, is that my emotions live like my emotions are like pushing through the plastic wrap, being like, let us out. Like you know, they're always high and ready to come out, hopefully at an appropriate moment. But so I have like very activated emotional life, which is of course helpful on stage. And I love to just listen to people, um, especially when we're working together. Like you've probably seen performance where people aren't actually taking that moment and like registering what's going on. They might just be moving through the motions. And I really try not to do that. Um, a weakness is, I mean, I'm like crazy critical on myself. Like everyone around me may be saying positive things, but I'm always thinking like, you know, that was forced. My leg was shaky there. Like I'm always like a little too focused on what did I just mess up potentially. Um, yeah.
Even if somebody else didn't notice it, you noticed
Oh
it.
yeah. Yep, I notice it.
Well, maybe taking a step outside of your view of yourself, and if you were to imagine how a friend might describe you, what kinds of things do you think they might say?
Um, Always game. Like I'm really always up for anything. I'm very extroverted and like into adventure. So my dream is if somebody's like, "Hey, I'm in town. I don't know what I want to do, but meet me here." I'm like, "Yes." Uh, so I think most people would be like, extroverted, outspoken, um, upbeat, um, very like when I'm happy, it's like super happy. And when I'm irritated, it's like super irritated. So sometimes, people are like, hey, dial it, dial it down. And I'm like, why? um,
So it's kind of
yeah,
hard for you to hide your emotions. Whatever you're feeling is kind of out there.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
A couple more, and then I'm going to hand it over to Sarah for some more specific questions as she's looking at the charts and everything. I'm curious if there's any hobbies that when you're not thinking about work, what do you like to get into? Where are your interests? If adventure is one of them, love to hear about an adventure that you went on.
Okay. Yeah, I love most things that take place outside. I love cycling. I love kayaking. I like yoga. Um, Adventures. I did get banned from Canada for 24 hours once with a friend of mine on a very spontaneous cross-country road trip we decided to take together after knowing each other for 3 months. Um, it turns out, so we stayed with my friend's dad in Vermont for a week or two. Lovely, lovely house, gorgeous. It is legal to grow marijuana in Vermont. And I didn't know my friend's dad sent us on our way with a big jar of pot in the trunk. And we were driving in a minivan, and our next stop was Chicago. But the maps were like, you could take a detour through Canada to get to Chicago. And my friend was like, do you have your passport? And I was like, yeah. So we were like, let's go through Canada. We've never been. And we're like two dirty hippies in a van. So of course they stop us and they rip our suitcases apart very politely because they're Canadian. And then, to my absolute horror and surprise, they found the big jar of weed in the trunk. And they said, we're taking this and you are kicked out of Canada and you can't come back for 24 hours. And it was so scary. But they let us go. I don't think we had to like pay money or anything like that. And then we were trying to take a different route to go to Chicago, but the map kept rerouting us to Canada. And we were like, we don't want to go to Canada. We can't. And so it just was a mess. And I think we went back to Vermont that night because it was crazy.
Yeah,
So that
24
was
hours. 24 hours is a pretty strange amount of time to ban somebody.
that'll teach them a lesson. Don't come back, you know.
So in that situation, that might have been a little bit stressful. You're pulled over
Mhm.
and people are going through your suitcase. Can you talk a little bit about how you handle stress or how you handle even difficult emotions? How are you processing that in the moment?
When it comes to like medical emergencies, it turns out I'm very calm. Like there was one recently where I was actually the calmest person in the room. And I'm like, okay, here's what has to happen. I'm going to make it happen. You're okay. We're going to wrap this, blah, blah, blah. Um, and then in situations that are not, medical emergencies, and if something happens and it just activates a certain emotional response from me, especially lately and over the last year, love therapy. Um, I've been much more comfortable with being like, hey, I realize, I reacted in a big way. Give me like a minute, and then I want to talk about like, what do you need? I want to be here for you. If it doesn't involve me, but I get an emotional reaction, I'm like, hey, that's not the focus. Like I try to redirect and like simmer it down. Which has gotten easier over time and with care and consideration. Yeah.
All right, my last question. How do you feel about debating? Do you ever find yourself kind of, if you have a disagreement with someone else or seeing something from a different perspective, do you feel like you need to hash it out and how do you approach it?
Hmm. Um, I do kind of struggle with that because it's It's pretty easy for me if I'm faced with a question like, hey, what do you think about X? How do you feel about Y? I pretty much know what I think or how I feel about it immediately. And if it is contrary to what another person thinks, I can like talk about it for a time. But honestly, depending on the topic, sometimes I have to like mentally draw a line and be like, this isn't something I'm willing to debate because it's honestly just a difference in values. Um, I have never been on a debate team and really should not ever be on one. I can certainly, I enjoy looking at things from multiple points of view myself, and I can certainly respect and understand different points of view. But if it's someone close to me, like a best friend, like I have different points of view on AI than some of my best friends do. And we give each other shit about it, but they know they're not going to change my mind, and I know I'm not going to change their minds. And I'm comfortable, you know, letting them know how I feel about it and being like, but go on and build that crazy thing that's going to get you a lot of money, and I'm happy for you, you know.
Well, that's a positive outlook. Sarah, how are things looking over there?
Good, yeah. Lots of good information. I've loved just listening to hear about your life so far and yeah. So, okay, I have some random questions for you. They might seem just like out of nowhere or strange. Um,
I love strange.
good, good. Okay. Do you ever dress up for Halloween? And what are some costumes you've dressed up as, if
I
so?
do. I try to every year. Um,
Tell
a
us
few
maybe
years
your
ago,
most favorite. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, you're good. Okay, I have two favorites. One, a few years ago, I was Carrie, which was so fun. I was going to a party by myself and was in a new town. And I was on the phone with my sister in a thrift store. And then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be. And I magically found this perfect dress and was like, okay, I know what I'm going to be now. And then I went home and my fiance helped me pour, well, fiance at the time, helped me pour blood all over myself. And my hair was all crazy. It was a really fun costume. And then I think my second favorite is when me and my older sister were cats. My older sister's birthday is on Halloween. So so it was huge, you know, growing up and continued that way. But we were both cats for Halloween together one year, and that was like our favorite costume.
Wait, cats from Cats or just cats?
We I love that you asked that question because also Cats on VHS, the 1993 West End was my favorite movie when I was little. I'd make all my friends watch it. We were not that elaborate though, but in our minds, we were probably cats from Cats. Yeah.
Okay, next question. You said my fiance at the time, so I wanted to know more about that.
Oh, yeah, that was a few years ago. She was my fiance. Now she is my wife.
Oh, okay, okay. Gotcha. Can you
Yeah.
tell us some more about her?
Sure. Well, so I didn't know like if I should keep certain things
You can tell
like
us about her.
to not give
Just
away stuff.
just don't say anything about, I mean, signs. I always feel like signs are a little weird because then you might say, "Oh, I relate to her," and I don't know. So
Yeah,
just
that's
leave her
true.
signs
Fair.
out of it.
Just tell us about what she does for a living, what she's like.
Sure. So she's from Tewksbury. So her family is here, which kind of prompted our recent move back to this area. Um, we met in Atlanta. She's amazing and really brilliant. She works in tech. She's a technical recruiter. And in 2020, because in-person stuff took a break, I also took a break from acting and we started a remote company together. So she taught me how to be a technical recruiter as well. And we worked together for like 4 years. She continues the company now. Um, yeah, she's so smart. She loves to knit and she loves music. We go to music festivals together. Yeah.
Okay, great. Um, okay. Can you tell me how tall you are?
I'm 5'10".
Oh, okay. So you're much taller than I was picturing. Okay. Um, are you a picky eater?
No,
No?
I don't
Okay.
think I ever have been.
Okay. How are you with being on time? And and when you make plans, do you show up on time? Do you reschedule a lot?
I rarely reschedule, but I'm so understanding when people need to. Because if it's like you're having an off day and you just don't feel it, I'm like, hey, please do you. I am rarely late. I love being on time. I think it's actually just something that somehow I can do. My beautiful, brilliant wife is chronically late to things. So even sometimes we'll be running late for a function, and somehow I make up time while driving us there. Uh, and I'm like, hey, looks like we're not late after all. So I'd say I'm pretty good with being on time.
Okay. Do what about keeping track of things? Do you lose things easily?
I don't lose things easily. I lose very particular things. Like I'm a little witchy and I've had like very special stones, very special jewelry, a very special headband, and I have in many different points of my life been like, this is my favorite ring ever. I love it so much. And then I just randomly lose it. I don't know where it is all of a sudden. But like normal things like my glasses, my phone, my ID, like I don't lose that kind of stuff.
Okay. Um, do you like to collect, you mentioned stones. Do you like to collect little treasures and things?
Yes, I love trinkets. I have a trinket altar on top of my jewelry box, and I love
Okay.
it. I will
Nice.
keep like buttons and coffee beans, like tiny, weird little things that a crow might bring you.
I love it. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Health. This is a big topic for me. I have a lot of questions here. And when I say health, I don't just mean like, do you have any illnesses? This could encompass anything like, um, sensitivities, surgeries, car accidents, anything affecting your body, I guess, that you're willing to share.
Um, sure, yeah. The only surgery I've had is my wisdom teeth. Um, I started experiencing anxiety when I got to college, and then it kind of took a break for a little while, and then it came back with a vengeance over the last couple of years. Um, it's doing much better now, but I would get like really like physical sensation driven anxiety attacks. Like I learned about a new symptom that's called depersonalization. And it's the sensation that like your soul is trying to leave your body. And that's what I would feel when I would have them. And I was like, am I dying? Because I'm also really scared of dying and I have a lot of health anxiety. So that's mostly under control lately, but um, and then I'm generally healthy, but I have this weird thing with my knee that's been going on for a few years now. And every time I go blow money at the hospital or on doctors and try to ask them to help me solve it, they're like, we got nothing. You don't have an autoimmune disorder. You don't have weird blood. So they don't know why it happens. Um, but yeah, that's the only thing. And I fell down some stairs once, but that's it. Oh, also, I'm sorry. Also, I think this is crazy. When I was like little, like single digit age, I was running around our backyard and they had just repaired our roof, but I was running around barefoot. Can I tell you where I'm from?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm from Florida and everyone in Florida is barefoot all the time. So I was running around our backyard barefoot and I stepped on a roof nail and it went through my foot and my mom pulled it out. Um, and I'll never forget that. So that was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
crazy.
Did you get a
Yeah.
tetanus shot? I remember when I was a kid, I had a rusty nail go into my foot and I had to get a tetanus shot.
Eesh. I don't even know if it was rusty, but I am sure I got a tetanus shot after that. It was crazy. I can't believe my mom pulled it out. I don't know if I could do that, honestly. She's a badass.
Um, do you know if you have any kind of EMF sensitivities or if you've ever been electrocuted
I don't think I've ever been electrocuted.
or shock, like a lot of shock? Yeah. Sorry, that's kind of like
Even,
extreme.
no, that's fine. Even like when you touch a random surface and it shocks you,
Hmm.
that happens all the time. And I get shocked everywhere. And sometimes I'll go to give my wife a kiss and she shocks my lips. And I'm like, ah, whoa.
So this is like a thing that happens to you that doesn't necessarily happen to the other people around you. It's just like you're constantly like, wow, I'm like always getting shocked by things.
Yeah,
Okay. Just trying to make sure
yeah.
it's not like the environment or like time of year or something. It's like a personal thing that happens to you a lot.
Yeah, it can happen any time of year. That's funny. I've
Okay.
never really given a lot of thought to that. But yeah,
Mm,
it happens all the time.
okay. Um, let's see. Do you ever take naps? Do you nap a lot?
No, I, there have been times in my life that I have, though, where like the season supports nap culture. And when it does, and I take them, I love them,
Nice.
but not for a while.
Okay. Um, do you ever have like cold hands and feet?
Constantly. Well, constantly. I'll be the just below constantly, but they are cold right now and most of the time.
Um, let's see, what are this? Are you stubborn?
Hmm.
In what way?
Um, remember that thing Scott asked me about like if I like debate, like if I see something a different point of view than other people? Definitely that. Sometimes it's hard to give over when I have a really clear point of view on something. Um, and like I imagined this potentially would have come up sooner, but like financially is sort of chaotic in my world, but I'm like really stingy with money and like kind of scarcity mindset. So when it comes to like making a purchase that I know I or we could live without, I will talk about it and be like, hey, this is not necessary. Um, so yeah. And then I think that I've been stubborn in a good way about like where I want my life to go. Like, I think I prioritize different things than a lot of people if they see life in a traditional sense. Like, I see things a little more non-traditionally, but I'm really hell bent on like preserving beauty in my life and preserving like fulfillment and happiness, even if that means it comes with sacrifice. So there have been times where people are like, why don't you just do something else? You have a college degree. Like, you could do so many things. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not the thing I want to do.
Mm. Okay, so you're stubborn in those ways. How about stubborn in like we have plans to do something and then I'm like, actually, can we go do this instead? Are you pretty go with the flow or are you stubborn?
I'd say I'm pretty go with the flow, but there have been times where I haven't been. But that was like, there was a chunk of my life where I learned a big, big lesson about expectations. So I think that, sort of tampered that instinct a little bit. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, maybe I'll ask one more question, but similar in a different way. Are you the one that's like running the show and making the plans and like gathering everyone together? Or are you kind of like more up for, and I think you said up for anything. There's always friends in a group that are kind of controlling, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like they're the ones taking charge and like, all right, this is the plan, guys, putting everything together. Or are you more like just easygoing and up for anything kind of, or maybe you're in the middle?
I really do both of those things. If the friend group and the occasion is right, then I'll be like, "Hey, I know I know we all want to do something and it's for a special like celebration thing. I have some great ideas. I'm going to plan the whole thing and then I'm going to take you all for a wild ride and you have no clue what you're up for or what you're in for. And then I really enjoy watching the night unfold and I really enjoy sort of like making a little bit of a spectacle aspect to be like, you know, make things more fun. Um,
Mhm.
and then also depending on the group, I'm like just grateful to be in everyone's company and will truly like go with the flow. But also if I notice, like I can tell if people are like, if they're wanting somebody to sort of grab the reins, but nobody's really like everyone's kind of shy about it, no one's stepping up to it. I will sort of notice that and be like, well, hey, I've got an idea, blah, blah, blah. Um, and I enjoy that a lot.
Okay. Can you tell me how you feel or what your relationship is to beauty products, cosmetics, fashion, all of those things?
I find them exhausting, um, but at times necessary. I really hate wearing makeup. I like to not do it as much as possible. But if I'm like, going somewhere particular and like really want to look nice, I'll do it. And I'll do makeup for shows, of course. And I can do like really cool special effects makeup if I need to, like, but in my regular day to day, I don't like it. And I'm like, please, someone tell me what to do with my hair because I have no clue.
Okay. Okay. So like if you were getting dressed up for a nice event, what would your style be?
Mm, I would say like classic, earthy, and I really try to look polished. I would say polished, but I don't know if I've achieved polished. I think I have. I think okay, classy, earthy, polished, like simplistic. Like I don't like to do fuchsia eyeliner. Like I pick a purple because it brings out the green in my eyes and like that's enough. Yeah.
Hmm.
I know I just compared fuchsia and purple, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Um, okay. Hmm.
I like it when Sarah's mulling something over. This is like
Yeah.
a big conclusion kind of question she's pondering and got brewing.
Yeah. I'm a little like, um, yeah. Do you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, Scott?
Yes, I can throw out a hypothetical
Okay.
for you that I was just
Okay.
pondering. Um, let's say that you're in a theater troupe and you're doing, a musical that you love, and the director is making some decisions that you don't necessarily agree with. Are you thinking, well, I'm a team player. I understand that the chain of command and where my place is, and I like my place? Or do you kind of wish that you were the one in charge of the whole production? Do you think that that would be a position that you would maybe strive for?
Yeah. And a show that I finished in March, great director, dear friend now. It was our first time working together, but they were making in my opinion, some really like they were making some crazy choices with the direction of this show in a few really important moments. And I made my opinion on that known from the get-go and was like, hey, I will try anything. If you need to see it, then I'll do it. To like, I won't just half-ass it. Like, I'll show you because I want you to be able to see this vision. But honestly, due to X, Y, and Z, like from the text, from the period, blah, 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 like I don't think it's justified. I think it'll, have this effect. And it was like we had a good conversation about it. So yeah, I'd feel comfortable making those points of views known in the creative process. And I have definitely thought about directing in the future.
Okay. Sarah, did that give you time?
I think so. I'm not feeling as confident as I was.
Oh no.
How do you feel being in the position, like an authority position? If you are putting on a play, or if you're running a theater company, or at work, if do you have a desire to work your way up the ladder maybe, and have some people working for you? Is that something you would strive for?
Sure. I don't know about the people working for you thing. I mean, that sometimes that just comes with like the territory of whatever's going on. But I do often look for like this, that previous show I mentioned, like I, once we got into the space, I have like a certain pre-performance routine I like to do, which is physical. I bring a yoga mat, whatever. People started noticing I was doing that. And then the stage manager was like, hey, would you mind leading a warm up before everyone's called? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Um, and I like getting opportunities to like look for what's missing in a place and be like, well, hey, I can do that and I'd be happy to lead it. Um, and there have been times where I've had like, I guess, managing positions in a few different jobs. Um, and I'm a really organized person, especially in the workplace. And I think that I'm a peaceful, understanding delegator if I must be a delegator. And I enjoy it. I like being, if you picture like a bicycle wheel, I like being in the middle of it for projects where I get to interact with like every spoke in every department. Because sometimes there's issues with communication. I like to solve those kinds of problems when we're working on a big project, like sharing information with people, helping to coordinate, helping to pick up slack. I think that's like, to me, that's what leadership feels like and looks like. And I do gravitate towards that.
Okay.
When you were talking about college, I think you said you went and studied musical theater.
Mhm.
And did you end up getting finishing your degree? Or because I know you said something about having anxiety and you had to take a break.
Oh yeah, I didn't need to take a break like while I was in undergrad. Um, but funnily enough, I had a great GPA in everything except for math. I've always struggled with math, and my advisor let me walk with my graduating class, but they said, "Hey, this summer you need to finish your final math credit, and then they'll send you your diploma in the mail." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then let's see, 6 years went by until I did that math class. So I walked with my class. For all intents and purposes, graduated college. But 6 years later, I finished that math class and actually got my degree in the mail. So I put off doing that one stinking math class for so long, like so dumb.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Are you Do you kind of, what is the word where you put things up? Are you a procrastinator?
I'm like, I will procrastinate something I don't want to do
Okay,
for
but
sure.
not like more so than another person. Yeah. You wouldn't say like, because there are some people that are like procrastination gets the better of them. I mean, everybody
Oh,
procrastinates to a degree, but I'm just trying to figure out if this is like kind of one of your qualities or, you know, traits.
no, I wouldn't say it is. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a strong sense of like responsibility and duty
Yeah.
in and how do you relate to that? Like what does that mean to you?
Um, I mean, I do feel a sense of like self-responsibility. Like it's been quite a journey. Like it's really hard to sustain a career in the field that I chose. Um, when it actually comes down to like the nuts and bolts of it, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of organization, it's a lot of being on days where you really don't want to be. And there's definitely times that I've let that slip and I take that personally, but the only person involved is me. So it's been a little fraught. Um, but I do feel that. And I don't want to feel the guilt of things. Um, but I recognize like self-responsibility. I have struggled a little bit with responsibility and duty in terms of like familial relationships. Like there's been some rocky ground there. I think between what my family expects of me and what I expect of them, and then what we actually end up giving each other, that's like caused a bit of friction. Um, and then, responsibility for humankind. Ah, that's a pretty big lift. Like that, it's intimidating, but I do feel like often called to that and um, invested in it.
Hmm. Do you like nostalgia in the sense of like I don't you were talking about like Sondheim and stuff, but like outside of that, like nostalgia fashion, that kind of stuff, or are you more like modern?
Modern sucks.
Okay.
Everything good that's ever been made was made a minimum of, I don't know, 1960 to 1990. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so a specific window of nostalgia.
Yeah. I love 60s fashion. I love 60s Broncos. I love 90s fashion and like life before cell phones and the internet. Oh,
Hmm.
What is it that you wish you, what do you like about life before cell phones? Because cell phones in some ways allow you to always be reachable and you always have contact with people, but maybe I'm interpreting it as that also comes with bad things. How,
I don't like the constant reachability and the pressure for response times. Like, I miss when people wrote letters, and it's like, gee, is Dave alive or dead? I know he got on that boat to Spain. Let me write him a letter to his great aunt's house. Like, I miss that shit. Like, we're too connected. There's too many opportunities to completely ruin a relationship because someone thinks you don't call them enough. It's terrifying. And it's pulling you away from the now, like technology and reachability, I think.
how do you feel about, we talked about your kind of the career being in different directions, different areas. How do you reflect on that? Do you like, is there a part of you that wishes you had kind of picked one area and risen up and stuck with that? Because you mentioned in other ways you do stick with goals, like when you pursue something, you see it through. Um, how do you feel that applies to your career, and what are your feelings around that?
Yeah, right after college, my career was going great. I did the things you were supposed to do. I got a lot of work, in my opinion, a lot of work. There was an upward trajectory that if I'd have stayed in that place and rode the trajectory, I really think I'd have been somewhere by now that I've always wanted to be. However, I was doing it literally across the country from my whole family. I was in my young 20s. I was confused. I was homesick. I didn't get a part that I wanted because I had to travel for something. I was feeling really conflicted about like, is this the right way for me to be doing this? So I left that place with so much opportunity, came home, and after some years went by, rebuilt. But I do mourn the way that my career started, and I mourn the fact that I didn't get to stick with it for as long as I really could have. Um, so, and then I thought for a while that I just couldn't do it anymore and that I was never going back to acting. But over the last 6 months, I think I was like, oh no, we're not believing that story anymore. I can go back and I'm gonna, and I am.
And do you specifically like, I guess, musicals more than just like stage acting?
No, no, I love plays. I love
Okay.
Shakespeare. Yeah.
Like, uh, as far as like being in a production, what are you most drawn to?
That's a good question. I don't know. What am I most drawn
I
to?
mean, it could be a variety, you know. I didn't know if like there was a specific focus because you went to school for musical theater, you said, so I didn't know if it was like you were more interested in that.
Yeah. I've actually been finding lately I'm a little more interested in just acting than I am in musical theater. Again, it's been like 6 years since I've done a musical, so maybe that's just some like feelings of nervousness or inadequacy or something like that bubbling up. I've done plays since and really excelled in that. Um, but I like plays that have a lot of emotional range. If I get a part in a play that has a lot of emotional range, like I really enjoy that. Um, yeah.
Okay. Um,
All
sorry.
right.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. So we're going
Yeah.
longer than we normally do.
Yeah, I thought I had one final question, but I it's not coming to me. So, um,
Do you think you have what you need to work with, or
I mean, I feel like I'm out of time. So, yeah.
um,
Oh, that's what I was gonna is do you sing? Like,
Do
you're
I
a
sing?
singer? You're a singer?
Yes.
Okay.
prove it. I'm kidding.
So you're a
Oh no,
singer,
my
but
Wi-Fi connection is
Ah.
breaking.
what do you like to sing when you're by yourself or whatever? Like what comes out?
Um, I like to sing classic rock. I like to sing, well, obviously show tunes for sure. Um, I like last night instead of falling asleep, I was singing Over the Moon from Rent, the weird scene where Maureen is hitting the cowbell. Like, I'm always singing up here, and it's everything. Um, I like singing folk music. I love, you know, like Crosby, Stills, and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just the knee thing that you mentioned earlier. Can you describe the symptoms? Because you said they didn't really figure it out, but what was the issue for you?
It started out what seemed like an overuse injury, like on days where I was at conferences or on my feet for a long time, I would get a swollen ankle. And then after a few years, it was not the ankle, it was just the knee. And then after another couple of years, it didn't even matter if I was super active that day, just from my knee up, the whole leg would swell. So sometimes it would happen on a Sunday, and all I've done is get up, check the mail, and make breakfast. And then poof, my right leg is big.
Okay, so it wasn't something with the joint. It was more like swelling in the
Yeah,
leg.
just swelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you sick a lot as a kid or not so much?
I heard that my mom says I was a colicky baby.
What does
I
that
don't
mean?
know what colic is, but
Okay. I feel like I've
um,
heard that. Let me Google it.
um, yeah,
Colic is intense, frequent crying in a healthy baby, usually lasting over 3 hours a day.
it's crying.
Um, that's what colic means.
That's hilarious.
Are you
Okay.
finding out in real time that you were a crying baby?
Yup.
Does that
Is it
fit?
a surprise? No.
I mean, maybe it's more than that. It's yeah, colic is when a healthy infant cries or is very fussy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
after
did
this
do a
up,
show with pneumonia once.
what about
Do
pneumonia?
you
Sorry.
I did a show when I had pneumonia once,
Hmm.
but I don't think I was sick a lot as a kid.
are do you cry easily? Do you cry often?
Yes and yes. Yeah.
Do you consider yourself empathic or is it just coming from within?
I do consider myself empathic because even when I was little, I remember like sobbing sort of uncontrollably. And my dad was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I just feel something." And he was like, "Rachel, no one cries for unless they know why." And I was like, "Well, I don't know why." And that's kind of been happening all my life.
But do you relate it to another person? Like if somebody is feeling really sad, do you physically feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or like one time we were dropping off stuff at Goodwill around Christmas time, and I could tell that the person working in the receiving booth was really overwhelmed. And they were explaining to me that they had no organization system anymore, and I could feel how stressed they were, and I started tearing up. And I was like, "All right, well, here we go," and I had to get out of there.
Mm, okay. Would you consider yourself moody?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
would, but I'm not
yeah.
proud of it.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Um, okay.
That was vague. I didn't mean to be vague.
Are you a rule follower or do you push back on the rules?
I'm so sorry, but I do both. But when it's like when other people are counting on it or counting on me, I'm a rule follower. And if you break the rules in front of me, I don't like it. I don't like it at a job when people are like, well, when they're training me, they tell us to do it like this, but I do it this way. I'm like, I'm going to stop you right there. But then when it comes to like, how is Rachel going to live her life? I look at everyone else's rules and I'm like, I think I'm gonna make my own. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Completely.
When you make decisions, are you basing it more on what's logical, or are you feeling into like what are you, is it more like intuitive and feelings and searching within?
Intuitive and feelings for sure.
Okay. So sometimes you defy logic.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right. All right. The audience has a lot to work with. I
It's
appreciate
like,
you.
oh man.
Yeah.
I know my neck is tight right now.
Oh wow.
It's mostly stress of maybe getting it wrong. This is I can tell Sarah's struggling with this one. So that means it's going to be a fun one.
It is
And
fun. I'm such a weirdo, but I don't want to stump you guys.
no problem. This is what makes the show interesting. And everybody at home, maybe they're finding it to be easy and they're listening to our questions like, guys, you haven't figured it out yet? Come on. And they're skipping ahead in the episode. But if they're still here with us, we're about to go and have our little meeting. We're going to put you back in the waiting room to kind of like compare our notes. Then we'll bring you back in and see if our pick is correct. All right?
Okay. Can't
So
wait. Thanks.
you're free
All
for a
right.
couple minutes and we'll see you in a bit.
Cool.
All right, Sarah. See, it's times like this, just when we think we got these opposite charts, and then somebody shows up and I swear I can make a case for both of them. She was saying things that were dinging off both charts.
I felt like I was getting a lot of one sun sign, but maybe some of the other rising sign, and that was throwing me off a little bit.
Wow.
So I started out one place, I ventured to the other. Maybe I'm back.
Maybe you're back.
Um, you know how I feel about being wrong. It's hard. It's really, really hard.
It is hard. Now that I'm joining you in this endeavor, I know the feeling of being wrong. Obviously, I don't take it as hard. I'm wagering less, but I still don't like to be wrong. I still want to make up some ground on you because you're up in the score. So if I choose one that you don't choose, I'm hoping that I can catch up to you. But who knows? Maybe we're on the same page. I've got one written down. Do you have a card picked?
Yeah.
Let's do it, Sarah. After 3. So technically it's on 4. People say on 3. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, Cancer.
Yeah, that's what I picked.
Oh, we're both going. Man, we picked the same one. I think the last 6 or 7 episodes.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because when you get it wrong, I get it wrong.
Oh yeah, and we have been kind of 50-50 the last 5 episodes or so.
But I really, for the last third or somewhere toward the second half, I was really on the Capricorn.
I was trying to tease that Capricorn out, and honestly, I can make a case for Capricorn, and if it's that one, the debrief will be interesting.
Yeah, this was one of those moments where I wish I could just observe her in her natural environment for like a day and just study her. It's a little bit easier when you're in the same room with someone and you're seeing more of them.
I feel like we got a sense of her. It's just to me.
I think so, but
Yeah.
sometimes people show you what they want you to see. Whereas when you're observing someone like in their environment, you get to see things that maybe they don't realize they're doing.
Well, I think it's interesting, even in an interview, I think we pick up a lot of personality from the person as they're saying something. It's also in how they're saying it that I think is just as important. That's why, rather than them just giving us answers to a questionnaire of their personality, it's fun to have them actually in front of us and telling it to us. And
Yeah,
we can pick up on dialect and the excitement level and the way they say it. Or if they say, I'm not this, with a little eye twitch, you're like, well, I don't know. Maybe you are.
And I just want to explain that it's like when we're getting all of these answers, it's like what happens to me sometimes is I get a little tunnel vision at the end and I'm like, oh wait, the last 5 questions really made me feel this way. And I like literally forget about everything that made sense to me beforehand. So I'm trying not to get tunnel vision. I'm trying to remember back to like the beginning of the talk and like take it all in, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's why we record things, so we can always go back to the beginning and assess what happened. But we've got our choices. We're happy with them. Well, there's no go backsies once we make our choices. Because if I was trying to base my decision based on Sarah, you wouldn't want me like changing my mind, being like, actually, Sarah chose a Cancer. I think I'll go with Cancer too. We're on the beach together, Sarah. We're crawling around in the sand with our little pinchers, and we're
You know, this
hoping
this Capricorn chart
to pinch the right answer.
has moon on the north node. It has its ruler in Venus, so I'm just
I know it's
yeah.
tempting. I know. I know the feeling. You're eyeing it. See, I can tell this. If it's the Capricorn, you're going to be like, Scott, I preferred the Capricorn.
No, I didn't prefer it. I most of the time I thought it was the Cancer, and then I started to doubt myself when she was saying a lot of things that felt more Taurus rising than Gemini rising, and and she described, you know, her style was earthy, and I don't know if she's saying that because she knows she's, you know, got all this earth in her chart, like Taurus and Capricorn, but um I don't know. There was a lot of Cancer stuff, so and Aquarius moon stuff. So I don't
Great.
know. Just going with that.
All right. Well, that helps
Yes.
reinforce my decision with things that I didn't even factor in. Okay, everybody. I hope that you have made your choices. Even if you're choosing the Capricorn, you can be laughing at us. Or if you've chosen the Cancer, we're going down together or we're winning together. And we're going to find out right after this. Hey, listeners, we're not just a podcast that tests astrology, we're an independent detective agency. That means we rely on you to help us keep the show running.
Exactly. By joining Astro Detectives on Patreon, you can support our mission to finally prove astrology is real.
Or, completely debunk it.
Here we go again.
One thing we can agree on, Astro Detectives is the only place you'll find astrologers and skeptics working together, like a buddy cop movie you didn't know you needed.
And trust me, detective work takes time, gathering evidence, late night stakeouts, solving cases, especially when Mercury's retrograde.
Okay, you can't blame Mercury.
The first step is easy and free. Just follow Astro Detectives on Patreon to get access to our debrief episodes where the conversation continues after each case ends. We break down what went right and what went wrong.
And if you want to fast track your training, become a rookie detective for only $3 a month. You'll unlock exclusive bonus episodes, plus early releases and the top secret case files sent straight to your inbox.
Or for just $1 a month, we'll make you an Astro intern. No compensation per se, but hey, you'll gain valuable detective experience and that warm fuzzy feeling knowing you're helping us keep the lights on.
So if you like what we're doing and want to support us, head over to patreon.com/astrodetectives and join the investigation today. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined again with Rachel. Sarah and I were beating our heads against the wall, really struggling because it was hard to differentiate between these two. We were choosing between a Cancer and a Capricorn chart. Now, one of those hopefully is you. Yeah, okay. And we were finding, we were matching you to both of them and having a tough time figuring out which one was real. So this will be interesting. Sarah, are you just filled with nervous energy right now?
Like I'm frustrated because like I just didn't get the clarity and confidence that I wanted, and I'm already like feeling like yeah, I'm just like anticipating being wrong, and that's gonna suck, and I'm gonna toss and turn tonight.
That's what the
Oh,
that's what the debrief is for, is we hash it out. Right or wrong, we're going to talk about what led us in the direction we eventually chose. But first, we need to find out if we are right or we are wrong. So, drum roll. Blah, 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 blah. Rachel, are you a Cancer?
no.
Oh, we were talking to a Capricorn the whole time?
I'm like the worst Capricorn, though. I'm not very.
I'm the worst Capricorn.
I'm actually a cusper.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what you guys think about cusps, but
Oh,
yeah.
Sarah does not buy the cusp. She does not. Don't even bring cusps up to her.
I won't. I didn't.
Well, this is what we love to hash it out with the debrief, to try and figure out what drew us in the wrong direction. And then looking at your real chart, knowing that you are a Capricorn, we'll do a little bit of analyzing there. Before we go, though, Rachel, anywhere you want to send our audience?
To the theater. Go. I really encourage everyone, no matter where you are, go see some live performance. Go to a music show. Go to a symphony. Go to a ballet. Go to a random community center that's having people dance. And if you've ever considered performing yourself in any way, but you've been too afraid or think you can't do it, this is your sign saying, yeah, you can. Everyone can. There's some cities like Portland, Oregon, I used to live in. If you are on, I think they call it the Oregon Trail Card. It's their SNAP program. If you bring that card to any venue in Portland, you get a $5 ticket to the symphony, orchestra, to theater. So go ahead and look at your own city, see if there's any programs like that, because there are some places that make the arts really affordable, which is super important. But yeah, see some art
That's
for a fun
amazing.
Friday night.
Or any night of the week.
Any night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could always be theater night.
Indeed. Yes.
Well, that's it, everyone. Let us know what you thought by commenting on whatever platform you follow us on. Links to our accounts are in the show notes. As always, thanks to Mike, our IT guy, and his random chartifier thingy for giving us a tough one this week. If you like the show and want to support it, you can visit patreon.com/AstroDetectives, where this conversation continues on the free Patreon-only debrief. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube so you don't miss the next episode. Rate and review and tell your friends. And until next time, this case is closed.